We are all mine. I don't know whose it is. Mick, Karch, Christian Dady, and Tom the Bear Forcer bringing you wrestling action from the Sports Garden in St. Paul. It's Ultimate Championship Wrestling, and what a matchup we've got in there right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next match is scheduled for one fall with a 30-minute time limit here wrestling held and for Bruce Reichman. Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, this one promises to be as exciting as any match you will want to see. Two tremendous young lions in professional wrestling circles, the Kamikaze Kid and dynamic Jerry Lynn. And Christian, I am looking forward to this one because you have two tremendously gifted athletes in there right now.
Absolutely. We all know the record of dynamic Jerry Lynn. He's a former ESPN light heavyweight champion. He's wrestled all over the world. He's wrestled in Japan, but he loves coming back here to Northern Premier Wrestling, the hottest federation here in the state of Minnesota, and the Kamikaze Kid, just out of wrestling pro camp just a few months ago, has come a long, long way. Holds the victory over Dan Jesser.
Absolutely. A nice reversal on the hip toss, and so far early on here, both men exchanging holds and counters, and that's what we expected. As soon as we saw this one was on tap for tonight, these two kids, and I compared to me they are so gifted and so quick in that ring. Dynamic Jerry Lynn didn't get his nickname by eating Wheaties. This is one tremendous athlete. Just recently returned from a very successful trip to Japan, and he's going to show you some moves here, but so is the Kamikaze Kid.
Absolutely. These are two fine scientific wrestlers, but we know that dynamic Jerry Lynn also knows how to brawl when it comes right down to it. But now look what he's doing there. He pulls out that beautiful chain wrestling maneuvers. He'll hit you with 2, 3, 4, 5 maneuvers in 3 or 4 seconds, and he did it just there. He got the reversal. Now he's on top.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Mick Karch, along with Christian Dady, coming to you from the beautiful scoreboard in Lindstrom, Minnesota, with Northern Premier Wrestling. Hotter than a match head here in the state of Minnesota as we enter the fall season here. Starts to get a little bit cool in your house. You know, you want to turn that heater on. Don't bother. Turn on Northern Premier. That'll heat you up.
Oh, this is great. I love sitting here ringside announcing these matches, especially when you've got two great young men like the Kamikaze Kid and dynamic Jerry Lynn.
The Kamikaze Kid just recently, and you mentioned the short amount of time he's been in the business. Of course, Brad Rangens took him under his wing and trained this individual. And Brad Rangens certainly, perhaps, he might be the greatest exponent of scientific wrestling of the 1980s. And look at this series of moves and counters. The Kamikaze Kid right now is matching hold for hold with Jerry Lynn.
Well, this is incredible. Mick, this man's only been wrestling for maybe 6 months, and he's going up against really one of the most underrated people in this sport. He's fantastic in the likes of Jerry Lynn. We talked about it. He's held that light heavyweight championship, and he's here in Northern Premier Wrestling, the hottest young federation here in the upper Midwest.
Boy, you talk about the game of human chess. You know, my broadcast partner in the American Wrestling Federation, Terry Taylor, always alludes to wrestling as that game of human chess, thinking one step ahead. And that's what you've got going on right here. Jerry Lynn and the Kamikaze Kid, and a big slam by Lynn that time. In for the cover, count of 1, 2, and he hooked the leg, but not enough. There's plenty of fire left in the Kid, I guarantee you. Nice hip lock takedown. Referee Bruce Kreitzman right in on top of the action, checking for those shoulders. Of course, our good friend Al Pabon doing yeoman's work once again with the camera here. And you know, I just saw something amazing. Al leaped from the ringside floor to the apron.
Well, you know, I know that Al Pabon has always talked about getting into the ring. He sees people like Dynamic Jerry Lynn and the Kamikaze Kid, and he says, I can do that, and I can do that twice as well.
I think he was talking about setting up the ring before the card.
I'm sorry.
Nice bridge and an escape by Jerry Lynn, and once again in with the side headlock. You know, we mentioned that Jerry just came back from Japan. He's had several trips to the Orient. This one the most successful. He wrestled in front of some huge crowds over in the land of the rising sun, really expanding his horizons as far as professional wrestling is concerned. Built a great reputation. They want him back right now.
Well, absolutely, but he loves coming home to his home state of Minnesota. He loves wrestling here.
Oh, what a shoulder block. He knocked him head over heels. What a shot. All right, Jerry Lynn, I'll tell you something. For 200 and some pounds, this man everything is high impact. Incredible. You know, we have watched Jerry Lynn for so many years here in the state of Minnesota. Legendary battles with the likes of Ricky Rice. Oh, my goodness, Tommy Ferrara, etc. But look at the Kamikaze Kid now. Saw that drop kick coming, deflected it into the hip lock takedown, but Lynn with another reversal. These two have, pushes him out of the way, and the drop kick ineffective.
5 minutes of lap time.
You know, Chris, you can see it. These men are eyeballing each other. There's a mutual respect in there, and I have to believe that Jerry Lynn at this point has to be really taken with the performance of the Kamikaze Kid. I'm not sure Jerry expected this much of a match.
Well, you can't expect this kind of a match out of somebody that's only wrestled maybe a dozen matches compared to the near 1,000 that Dynamic Jerry Lynn has got to have under his belt at this point in his career. But Dynamic Jerry Lynn, he loves wrestling the young kids. He loves breaking new people into this sport because he knows that by going up against them, he's going to show them the ropes. Pardon the pun.
The Kamikaze Kid, ladies and gentlemen, as a matter of fact, you announced him at about 205, and I'm sure that's with everything that he's wearing. This kid is not a super heavyweight in this business. Dynamic Jerry Lynn, you mentioned the former light heavyweight champion of the world, hovers between that 215 and 225, 228 range.
Well, I tell you, according to my announcing card here, I don't know who was doing the weigh-ins, but the Kamikaze Kid apparently has a 3-pound advantage over Dynamic Jerry Lynn.
I know who is doing the weigh-ins.
Who's that?
Pabon. Nice maneuver by Dynamic Jerry Lynn working on that arm. And, of course, the Kamikaze Kid comes into the ring with that full, almost a ninja type of an outfit. And I'm not sure if that is a help or a hindrance to a man like Jerry Lynn grabbing on that arm. Oh, count of 2. Very, very close, and the referee, Bruce Kreitzman, getting a little bit of static from the fans here. I believe if the fans have chosen a favorite, and when they came out, I believe they were evenly split. Now they seem to be leaning a little bit towards the Jerry Lynn camp. Oh, and again, Lynn, great maneuver.
But Jerry Lynn knows how to take it to you, and he loves to keep it on you like that. He's had that hold applied for maybe 2-3 minutes now, stretching out the left arm of the Kamikaze Kid. Kamikaze Kid has got to be in a lot of pain. He's not going to be able to use that arm when he gets up.
Jockeying for position once again, and every time the Kamikaze Kid gets to his feet, Jerry Lynn has the momentum and the leverage to take him right back down to the canvas. Northern Premier, ladies and gentlemen, the hottest independent going, and I've got to tell you, if you are in any town in the state of Minnesota, big or small, and you hear on your local television, radio, see a poster that Northern Premier is coming to your city, go out and buy a ticket. I'm telling you, you're seeing a blend of rookies and veterans, great wrestling action, back to the basics, wrestling.
And Mick, why don't we ask the fans to do more than that? If they know someplace that would be great to hold a Northern Premier Wrestling card, all they need to do is call their bar and say, hey, I got a great way to make you people some money. Let's bring in wrestling. Let's bring it back home. Let's see the greatest stuff on earth.
All right, as a matter of fact, I'll go you one better. Let's make it even easier for them. If you know the name of a place, a bar, a restaurant, a school, a gymnasium, you call the Body Slam Review hotline, 649-4924. We'll get in touch with you. We'll do the legwork for you, and we'll put on professional wrestling right in your own backyard.
By the way, we're still splitting the bill for that, right?
Huh? I was distracted for just a minute. I'll have another beer. Thank you.
That's a six-pack for you tonight, isn't it?
You keep mentioning the Body Slam Review hotline, Bill. I'll be up to a case in a minute. Oh! These two are so evenly matched, and again, as much as we enjoy watching Jerry Lynn, one of the greats, and we've said he is the franchise player a lot of times for independent wrestling in the state of Minnesota. Chris, you've got to be tremendously impressed with the kid here.
Well, absolutely, Mick. You and I saw this man wrestle his first match against the likes of the Night Stalker, and I'm very impressed with what we're seeing here. He's come a long, long way in the short months that he's been wrestling. He's been studying those wrestling tapes. I'm sure he's watched the tapes of Dynamic Jerry Lynn.
10 minutes. 10 minutes elapsed time.
I believe we've got a 15-minute time limit, if I'm not mistaken, in this one. Dynamic Jerry Lynn and the Kamikaze Kid. And so far, if you're scoring on points, maybe a slight edge to Jerry Lynn. Off the ropes, hard shoulder tackle. The kid there with his first real serious offensive maneuver now. Over the top leapfrog, and another hip toss takedown. And Lynn once again with the upper hand. Picks him up, now sets him up. Oh! Textbook suplex by Jerry Lynn. Oh, count of two.
11 minutes. 11 minutes elapsed time. There were 4 minutes remaining.
4 minutes remaining in time limit. Boy, if you have ever seen a suplex right out of the book, that was it right there. Great maneuver on the part of Dynamic Jerry Lynn. Sets him up now. Whoa! Wow. Over the top. Wow! Kamikaze Kid into the ropes. Oh, no. Try to roll him up for the sunset. Ducks the clothesline. Oh, what a shot!
Holy cow!
Kamikaze Kid tried that spinning kick. I believe he got as much as Jerry Lynn had been in for the cover. 2, and Lynn foot over the ropes. Wow.
12 minutes elapsed time. There is 3 minutes left in time limit.
Kamikaze Kid measuring Jerry Lynn now. Oh, into the corner, caught him with that kick to the midsection and a shot to the. Look at Lynn. Oh, wait a second. Oh, no. Oh, those shots. Oh, look at Lynn. That kick right to the side of the head, turns him over. Count of 1, 2. That's no.
Unbelievable, Mick. When you get dynamic Jerry Lynn fired up when he's hot, there is none better in this sport.
Well, pound for pound, I'd have to agree with you there, Chris. This is an amazing man, and Jerry Lynn hard into that top buckle. Oh, my God! Oh, that's got to do it. He is out. The man is unconscious. Oh, how did he do it? Chris, he had to dislodge his teeth.
13 minutes. 13 minutes. The last time there are 2 minutes remaining.
How in the world is the Kamikaze Kid still functioning? He was hit so hard with that drop kick right to the face.
I can't believe he's still...
no!
Jeez!
What a shot by Jerry Lynn, whipped all the way across the ring. Lynn follows him in now. Oh, tried for the monkey flip. Kamikaze Kid, cut over. Oh, count of 2.5 there. Look at Jerry Lynn, what a bridge. Picks him up. Oh,
That's got to do it. That's got to do it.
2. Oh,
Mick, I can't believe what I'm seeing. These two men are going hold for hold, finishing maneuver for finishing maneuver. This is incredible.
14 minutes. 14 minutes. The last time there is 1 minute remaining.
1 minute to time limit. Chris, let's count this one down, pal. So these, when Lynn blocks it, wait a minute, what a maneuver!
Oh my.
I have not seen that before. The Kamikaze Kid coming up with more than we can imagine.
Well, Mick, he's got to be watching some Japanese tapes.
Over the top. Oh, tried for the sunset, didn't get him. Count it. Wait a minute.
30 seconds. 30 seconds left in time limit.
Over the top now. Once again, count of 1, 2. No. Oh, man. What a series of near falls in this one. Holy cow, Chris. I'm going to let you take it down.
14, 13, 12, 11,
Man,
10,
man, they're both of these wrestlers trying to jockey for position here.
6, 5,
Trying for the backslide.
3,
He's got him.
1.
Oh, my word. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. The time has expired here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has expired. Your referee's official decision. This match is a time limit draw.
What a matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Dynamic Jerry Lynn and the Kamikaze Kid. And I believe Jerry is a little bit stunned here at the performance of the Kamikaze Kid. Man, oh
Well,
man.
I honestly can't believe what we saw here tonight. This was absolutely incredible. That somebody like the Kamikaze Kid, I don't want to take anything away from him. He's only been wrestling for a few months. He just went 15 minutes with one of the best there is.
Stay with us, everybody. More action with Northern Premier Wrestling. Mad Dog Vachon, Tiny Mills, Nick Bockwinkel, Dr. X, Vern Gagne, The Crusher. Wrestling in the Twin Cities for years and years was huge. If you came to Minneapolis, I mean, you made it.
Channel 2 is taping in here this evening.
You meet so many different people, and it's a great place. When we're out there, people feel better about them inside.
I just don't want to die young.
This place saved my life. Small towns have as much as a big town.
White Castle is cool, am I right?
You can play hockey at any age.
I'm 80 years old. I would die if I couldn't do this. Hennepin County Emergency Department.
Feels weird, looks good.
We don't just grow vegetables, we grow community.
Building, and he's always hyped up. It depends on what kind of medication they've got in our...
I'm Mick Karch, and I am the host of Slick Mick's Body Slam Review, a professional wrestling television program. And I also announce that wrestling matches around the state of Minnesota, various independent promotions. Wait a second. Now, this might be it. This could be a short night. For
We're only 30 seconds in.
Wait a second. Horace is going to have none of this. He's following Dynamic back to the locker room area, and he's taking him back to the ring. Welcome back to Horace's playground. Horace the psychopath, bizarre character, probably as close to Mad Dog Vachon in style as anybody on the local scene. This was a guy who's about 5'8", 220 pounds, but as tough as nails. He had more hair on his chest than a gorilla, shaved bald head, and 2 teeth.
When you win the belt, you get a Porsche for a present.
Now entering the ring area, the NPW champion, Luscious Lenny Lane.
Hello, I'm Luscious Lenny Lane, the MPW's World's Heavyweight Champion.
Accompanied by his manager, Mortimer Plumtree.
My manager, who I'd like to bring in right now, gave me a present the day after I won the belt. Morty, tell him.
You know, there are just rewards for achieving the greatness that this man has in such a short period of time. Such luxuries for beautiful people like the luscious one, the one-night stand Luscious Lenny Lane. He's the only one.
Only one.
What are some of the big sellers?
Kenny J t-shirts today. He's a real crowd favorite these days. They just crowd around him for his autographs.
And now, Northern Premier Wrestling presents a man who is a true legend in the sport of professional wrestling, the Sodbuster, Kenny J. In a match that could end up being one of the best grudge matches of the century, ladies and gentlemen, the student versus the teacher, the uncle versus the nephew, Kenny the Sodbuster J is here today. And he will be taking on the Brentwood bad boy, his nephew, J.B. Trask.
I am J.B. Trask. I am the hottest wrestler not only in Northern Premier Wrestling, but in the world today.
J.B. Trask is another fellow. I mean, this is a sick puppy.
There's a great adrenaline rush when you walk through that curtain, and the people, whether they're booing you or cheering you, it's a natural high, and that's what I love about it. I love beating people up too.
We got a slugfest horse with the chops. Wait a second, he's measured the professor, looking right at him, I believe.
Well, did he bite the face or did he bite the mask?
Oh, Horace is just unloading chops, teeth, you name it. Look at, oh, there's a shot. Look at, oh, headbutt now. This is a war. These two are just doing one-upsmanship in there right now.
Mick, I want Al Pabon to swing that camera around. Did you see the chest of the masked professor? It's beet red.
Well, it's remindful of what Horace did to Mortimer Plumtree in Sauk Center about a year ago.
I love to remember that.
Caving in 8-9 of those chicken bone ribs of his.
How appropriate, we're right next to a KFC.
The masked professor with a cheap shot. And just that quickly, the momentum has shifted here. Professor, oh. Telegraphed it and dropped it anyway, and Horace caught a shot right between the eyes.
Now that was a backhand fist. It's a martial arts move done while the man is laying on the mat, so it has even more of an impact. Obviously, the masked professor has been watching Bruce Lee movies.
Well, no question about it. Professor's a tough competitor, no doubt. Horace with the savant kick into the sternum. Didn't get all that he wanted, I'm sure, but the professor, oh, clothesline. Horace is having difficulty, Chris, in dropping 280 pounds of bulk in the masked professor.
We've seen Horace take on people like Luscious Lenny Lane. We've seen him take on Dan Jesser. We've seen him take on J.B. Trask. He doesn't wrestle a lot of big men. He has to adjust.
Horace is threatening here. It's Make-A-Wish time. What is he doing? You know, I had a dream about this. I want to see that tape.
Keep quiet, Mick. This is family entertainment.
Well, from our vantage point, I'm not sure what he was.
He was biting the leg.
The very upper leg.
Look at Horace go.
Horace is like a pit bull in there, and Professor, as I said, he's absolutely confused. This is such an unorthodox style of Horace the Psychopath, so completely off the, oh my word.
5 minutes elapsed time.
I'm sure Ed Sullivan would have banned that as well. Shut up! Onto the floor, onto the ringside area. Horace takes a seat. He's cheering. Horace is now sat down among the fans. He's cheering his own match, and Professor unloading. Those are some heavyweight shots delivered by the man in the hood here. Oh, into the post, and it didn't even, oh no. Horace he is wound up now. He's had enough.
And we talked about Dan Jesser. We talked about luscious Lenny Lane. Nobody is more dangerous outside the ring than Horace.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bear, they are going back and forth now. Nothing scientific about this.
No, this is just banging meat, and that's all it's about. Hit, slap, punch, whatever's necessary. And believe me, Horace is mighty good at it. Mighty good indeed.
Well, referee Bruce Kreitzman is calling Horace back into the ring. Horace has taken a, wait a minute, he's got a swig. I'm not sure if he swallowed it. Those cheeks are puffed.
It was Miller time, apparently, for Horace.
Oh, right in the eyes of the masked Professor. And now Horace, DDT. First he blinded the big man, then he DDT'd him.
Smell the air. It smelled like a double absolute on the rocks.
Horace now ripping and tearing at the masked Professor. Once again, Mick Karch along with Christian Dady and Tom the Bear Forcier, and on occasion, Dave Randall from the Sports Garden in St. Paul with absolutely the loveliest wait staff of any establishment.
Wow!
What a shot!
Beautiful side slam there from the masked Professor. Now he says he's going to take Horace to school.
Well, the Professor is well schooled. This man so vastly underrated. Why a national promotion hasn't picked this man up is beyond me. Stiff clothesline there, Bear.
Absolutely. Took Horace right off his feet. Shook his eyes around. You see that one roll back and the other one roll down?
Same expression as when he came to the ring, Tom.
No, that's kind of true, isn't it? Kind of that little dog with the bouncing head in the back window.
Wait a minute. Speaking of bouncing heads, Horace, oh, cannonball. Great elevation. Kind of 1-2. He got him.
Mark. Ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner at 8 minutes and 30 seconds, Horace the Psychopath.
Well, Horace gets the victory and oh, look at him, he's all wound up. Look at Horace. Oh no. Horace has completely lost his mind. A victory celebration. He threw himself under the chairs and the concrete. The Professor's jacket. Chris Dady, you have the pleasure. Go interview Horace. Get out of here. Go ahead. Horace the Psychopath, to celebrate his victory, Tom threw himself into chairs and concrete.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting rubbing your face in asphalt.
What for, Chris? Talk to the Professor.
Professor, I don't know what you're holding in your hand there. I hold your butt.
You look like a...
I inhaled this bug out. There's no reason to have a match of this magnitude out of doors. I inhaled this bug, and you saw what happened. Next time, I want another match with Horace the Psychopath. It's indoors, and none of your little insect buddies will be.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special edition of Pro Wrestling Today here on Northwest Community Television. I'm your host, Mick Karch, and what we're going to do over the next 2 hours is take a look back at the year 1996, a review of the world of professional wrestling over the past year, not only on the local but also the national level. A lot to talk about, some interesting developments, of course, in the major promotions, and we saw some fabulous matchups here in the state of Minnesota on the independent level. We'll be touching on all of that during the coming 2 hours. Also, highlights some of the great matches, and there were some bloodbaths, some wars, some real head-on collisions in the state of Minnesota, whether it was a rookie, a veteran, a national superstar. They really put it together on the independent scene around the state of Minnesota into Iowa and Wisconsin over the past year. We'll see some of those highlights. Also, news about the internet. Northern Premier Wrestling, a part of the internet right now, and within the coming year, Pro Wrestling Today, Al Pabon, producer extraordinaire, has spent a veritable fortune, ladies and gentlemen, as Pro Wrestling Today takes to the internet. We'll be talking about that. And also, it's unfortunate, but I guess he was either a highlight or a lowlight, depending on how you look at it, on the local wrestling scene over the past year. A man who obviously did not want to do a segment with me. He insisted on his own time, his own place, his own space, if you will. They could put this guy in another county, as far as I'm concerned, on another planet. But we'll be hearing, of course, from the inimitable one, Mortimer Plumtree, during the next 2 hours. I know you can't wait for that. It is going to be a great 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen, as we take a look back at 1996, the year in review on Pro Wrestling Today. It's coming up right after this PSA. Stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, watch each and every week on Northwest Community Television. Saturdays at 6:30, it's Pro Wrestling Today, the greatest collage of independent wrestling in the state of Minnesota.
Not to mention, let's mention this, produced by the Andy Warhol of production here in Minnesota, Al Pabon. Al Pabon. Is he related to Caesar Pabon? Could be.